There's a way you take me up from down and place my feet on solid ground.
Hey girl, welcome back to my channel. Here we talk about how to become her, and I help you to become a woman of substance. And so if you're interested in this kind of content, please go ahead and join the Becomers. We're so happy to have you here. So we're going to be talking about some of the reasons why you're not happy being single, and I'm also going to give you some tips on how to enjoy the holidays as a single woman. I really want you to maximize on this holiday season, sis. No more are we going to just sit in our pajamas, watch Hallmark movies, and cry ourselves to sleep because we're not with somebody's son. Listen, we've all been there. But yeah, no more of that. It's time for us to take charge of our happiness and, you know, really invest in ourselves, because we're not going to be single forever. That's what I want people to understand. If God has given you the promise, a promise of marriage, He's not going to go against his word. He's not going to go back on his word. Okay, can we just lay that foundation? God is not going to go back on his word. If he said that you're going to be married, you're going to be married. Okay, so now what can we do in between the promise? How can we maximize on this season so that we're not just sitting around waiting for somebody's son to come and sweep us off our feet? Okay, so number one, the first reason why you may not be content during this season is because you are simply just sitting around waiting for somebody to sweep you off your feet. You think that when this man comes, he's going to be your Prince Charming. You think that he is going to solve all of your problems. Let me be the first to tell you, okay, though I've never been married, I've talked to a lot of married people, and a lot of times they say that marriage does not solve your problems. It's not the solution for your life. It's not the fixer upper, you know, it's not the magic potion, right? It's not. It's just not going to be the answer that you're looking for. And so I want you to let go of that expectation, okay? That you think that you're not happy because you think that when you get married, everything is just going to be okay. And that's just not the reality, right? Granted, there are some things in your life that, you know, that you will, like marriage will help you to reach that optimal level in terms of leveling up and just having another person, right? God's will for you is going to help you to sharpen you, to encourage you, to motivate you and things like that. So yes, on that level, in that regard, yes. But like, it's not going to solve all of your answers. Only Jesus can fill that void. So that's the first reason why I believe that you're just not happy during this time. Another reason I believe that you're not happy during this time is because you don't know your purpose, all right? You think that God just created you to sit around and prepare to be a wife, and that's all of your life existence. Like, that's the only reason he caused your mother and father to come together to have you, so that you could just become a wife. Okay, there's more to life than just becoming a wife. And I'm going to give you biblical examples of that. So Ruth was a woman who, she was married. Her mother-in-law was Naomi, and her husband died and her father-in-law died, right? She didn't just sit around and mope and say, oh, woe is me, you know, like, what am I going to do with my life? No, she followed her mother-in-law to this new place. She left the land of the Moabites and she went to this new place, and it was in following her, in committing to just being with her, serving her, and just doing what she's doing, the Lord redeemed her and gave her a new husband who we know as Boaz. And so Ruth didn't just sit around saying, oh, you know, what am I going to do with my life? That was not her all. That was not, marriage was not it for her. It was like, okay, I have other things I could be doing. All right, and if y'all hear some noise, my window is open. But yeah, so you feel like this is it for you. And so because of that, you're sitting around and you're just hoping that this thing will happen, and you're not living. Let me speak to the girl who has put her life on pause because you're saying, until I become a wife, then I will begin to live my life. Then I will begin to thrive. Life is more than that, all right? So I gave you one example, Ruth. Anna was another person in the Bible. The Bible says that she was married for 7 years with her husband, and then he died. And then she decided, you know what? I am going to serve the Lord. She was a prophetess. And this is a note for you prophets out there, and this is not a video for that, but I'm learning more of what the office of the prophet is about. I'm learning more about what the office of the prophet is about, and The office of a prophet is to seek the face of God. Most of your time, my pastor has said this before, most of your time should be spent on your knees, on your face, seeking out God and his will and what he wants to say to his people. I'm gonna just leave that there. And so Anna was a prophetess who she spent the rest of her life doing that. She served God with fasting, with prayer in the temple. She did not worry about marrying again. She was like, okay, that has been taken away from me. At the end of the day, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Come on, somebody. And so she said, you know what? I'm going to just live the rest of my life serving God. Okay, so I already gave you 2 examples of women who, one, yes, although she lost her husband, Ruth, God redeemed her and gave her another husband, but she wasn't just sitting around like, okay, I have to like make sure I get married again. She was like, let me just live my life. Okay. And number 2, Anna, who after her husband passed away, she did not get married again, and she just lived the rest of her life serving the Lord. Now, I know that some of you have a desire for marriage, and yes, like I said in the beginning, God is going to grant that desire for you, but you cannot sit around and mope around and say that, you know, my life is going to revolve around this thing. You have been called to so much more. Your purpose is greater than being somebody's wife. I mean, okay, let's say God does say, okay, you're going to get married, you're going to be a homemaker, you're going to watch over the home, take care of your children. That's your ministry. That's great, but there's more for you to do. How are you going to make money, sis? In between that, you need to get a job. You need to get an education if that's what God is calling you to. You have to find other things that you're doing. It's not just that, all right? The last thing is that you feel like you're just not complete. And this goes into my second point where I talked about you don't know your purpose. Or this actually goes into my first point where I said that you are waiting for this man to come around and sweep you off your feet. But the third reason why you may not be happy or content in this season of singleness, especially during the holidays, is that you just don't feel complete, right? You're looking at yourself and you're like, man, I'm just missing something. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that completely, because Abraham in the Bible, his servant, the Bible said that the Lord blessed him in all of his ways, right? However, his son did not have a wife yet, and so his servant went to another land to look for a wife for Isaac, right? And so yes, you can have everything but then still feel like, you know what, I'm missing something. There's nothing wrong with that, because we are social beings. Hear me and hear me clearly. I am not preaching or saying that like you're not supposed to desire a husband or a man, especially during this holiday season. I'm not saying that, okay? God has shown us throughout the scriptures that it's not good for a man to be alone. We are social beings. He created us for community. He created us to be with one man if we're a lady and one woman if we're a man. And so I'm not preaching that, right? And so, but where it gets, you know, like dangerous is when you feel like you're not complete, when you feel like, you know, after everything you've achieved in life, you're incomplete in a sense. Like you're just, you know, like there's something that you're missing, and you then begin to feel inadequate is more so the word. Yes, thank you, Holy Spirit. You then begin to feel inadequate. You feel like, you know what, like I'm less than, and you know, this person has this, I don't have it, and so I'm just like, what is my life? You know, I'm less than, I can never amount to any, you know, you begin to speak these word curses over yourself. And it's like, hold on, sis. You just like, it's not the end of the world. It's just that you're not married or you don't got a man right now, but like you got other things going for yourself, right? And so I'm sorry if y'all feel like I am screaming at y'all. It's because I love y'all, and I'm tired of seeing women who just sit around and mope around. Though there is a place of compassion that I have for you, because I was once in that place, okay? I'm tired of seeing women just sitting around, moping around. Oh, when is he coming? When is my Prince Charming coming? All of these things, and they're missing out on the rest of life that they have to live. God has already told you he has this promise for you. So why are you going to sit around and act like he never said that? Right? Why are you doing that to yourself? Why are you minimizing your potential, right? Why are you, because let me tell you this, men don't want a woman who is going to make an idol out of them or make a god out of them. I'll be the first to tell you that. So you don't want a man who, you know, he doesn't want a woman who he, is not allowed to live his life, or, you know, you always gotta like wrap your arms around him, you know, you don't let him breathe. He can't have a social life because you just want him to yourself. Men want women who are independent, in the sense that their sense of belonging, their sense of being, their sense of existence, their identity isn't wrapped up in him, right? And so you have to, like, again, I'm preparing y'all and teaching y'all how to become women of substance and becoming her. You've got to have other things going for yourself. You've got to see the potential and the abilities that you also possess within yourself that God has given you. Not that this man is going to affirm in you, but that you have recognized that, Lord, this is what you've given me. And so I love this about myself. And these are the things I have going for myself. All right. So now I'm just going to tell you 3 things that you can do during this holiday season that is going to help you so that you're not so focused on, man, I'm single. Where my man at? Right. Especially in this season where everyone is posting, engagements and all of that. It's the holiday season. People typically do that, right? It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right? You were single before they posted that. Now, you're so single. So it's not like they're rubbing it in your face. It's just that the reality hasn't changed. You see what I mean? So, okay. So the first thing that I would advise that you do during this season is to serve, give back. Okay. This is important, of course, all across the board, not just during the holiday season, but all throughout the year. Serve. Look for opportunities to serve. If you're keeping up with my Vlogmas series, which you should, I made a short where I talked about 2 things that you should do during the holiday season as a single woman. Service. And I showed you all how I went to serve. I didn't go there with it in mind that I was going to post this on social media. Oh, look at how I'm serving the least of these. No, the idea just came to me when I was serving. You know what actually happened? I was serving along someone and he was doing a project for his, I think, class, and he needed to get proof, I guess, that he was there. He was doing an assignment for a project, maybe, I think it was for a newspaper or something. There was something he needed to publicize it on, and he needed to take videos of him doing the work. And so it was when he started doing it that I was like, oh my goodness, I should record too. And so he then recorded me serving, right? Service. I'm telling you, I can guarantee you, wherever you are in the world, there are people who are in need of your help, of your donations, of your giving, of your time. This is the time of the year where people fall into what we call seasonal depression. Get outside of yourself for once, sis. God has already said you're going to be married. Okay, now can we get the focus off of ourselves? Can we serve other people? Let's serve the least of these. Jesus has said that what you've done to the least of these, you've done unto me. And so, yeah, serve. Find a shelter to go. Find an elderly center. Find a homeless shelter. Find a food drive. Somewhere where you can get plugged in and serve and give back. I'm telling you, when you're doing that, your mind is not going to sit around and think, oh my gosh, I don't have a man. Oh my gosh, I'm not married. You're not going to think about that, right? And if you're still thinking about that in those times, then child, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, so that's number 1. Number 2, host friends and family. Get people around you so that you're not alone. Part of the reason why you're feeling this way, you're in this whole place of sulking, is because you're by yourself. All right. A lot of the issues we have is just because of isolation, not consecration. Isolation. Consecration is what God has called you unto. Isolation is something you have put yourself into. Okay. So get around people, host people. And there's something again about service, inviting people into your space, cooking something, playing games with people. Again, this is going to get you outside of yourself. And then number 3 is very similar to the second point, is to spend time with family and friends. All right. So I pray that these things help you. I really don't want you, girl. I love you so much. I pray you hear my heart behind this. I really do love you. And I don't want you to feel like your life hasn't started because, you are not married or you don't have children or whatever. There's so much more to life than that. I've talked to older women, and God has used them to speak to me just in ways that they don't even know. And, I remember talking to this one lady, and she's I think she's in her 50s. She was just telling me, didn't even ask her anything about it. She just began to speak to me about her story and how she was considered a late bloomer because she got married sometime after 40. And she talked about how she spent a lot of her life just sitting around what am I going to do with myself? She was like, you know what? I'm gonna live my life. And she bought a house. You know, some people are against single women buying a house and living on their own, but she didn't. She said, you know what, I'm not gonna put my life on pause because of, you know, me not being married or me not having a husband. I'm gonna live my life, and God's gonna bring him when he's gonna bring him. And sure enough, the Lord brought him. And you know, and yeah, God is helping them in their marriage now. And so I just want women to see themselves more than wives. You're more than that, okay? I've given you examples in the Bible of women who were married before, lost their husband, didn't remarry, and then also married. But there's more to life than that. The Proverbs 31 woman was not just known for being a wife and a mother, but she was one who was a businesswoman, okay? So if you read that Proverbs very well, you will see that this woman had more than just being a wife and a keeper of the home, okay? She had more going for herself. So that's what I want you all to focus more on, is just asking God, as you move into this new year, ask the Lord, God, how can I serve you best? All right, how can I serve you best? What can I do to please you more and get outside of myself, right? So that I can truly maximize this season, because indeed it is a season, just like this holiday season is a season. Singleness is a season, and it's going to end very soon. In a couple of months, it's going to start feeling warmer. It's going to start feeling like spring. And so it's just a season that you're passing through. All right, I love you. And yeah, let's talk in the comments, girl. Let me know how you feeling this holiday season. All right, I love y'all. Talk to y'all soon.
No.